Watch this dog's response to the command tug.
Tug. New context because he's used to being on my right side. Ready? Attaboy. Yes! Good boy!
Notice how he failed twice, but succeeded the third time. The dog knows the command tug and would tug the rope off the fridge at home when his handler gives him the command verbally. So why do you think he did not tug on a verbal command this time? Was he being disobedient, or was there a reason keeping this dog from responding? What I would like to stress on in this video is that what humans define as disobedience, dogs define as obstacles or difficulties hindering their response. There are 3 factors that play a role in hindering our dog's responses. First, environmental factors. Second, psychological factors. And third, poor communication from the handler. Let us go back to the video of the dog tugging on the rope attached to the fridge. This room is a new environment to him. He had never tugged there before. Dogs don't do well with generalizing commands, so this change of context to the dog required an extra hand target by his handler to guide him into tugging. The dog was not disobeying his handler. The new room was the barrier to him successfully completing the command. In this case, the obstacle is environmental. Different locations, different tools, and even different handlers are all considered context changes. So always be mindful of any change, whether minor or major, in your dog's environment. Other examples of environmental factors would be asking our dogs to stand on wobbly or slippery surfaces like the veterinary scales, asking them to sit when the asphalt is too hot, or even unintentionally standing in their way while asking them to jump on a surface or walk through the door. Another factor is psychological. The best way to know if this factor exists at the moment is by asking yourself, how's my dog feeling? Look for signs of stress, disengagement with handlers, or overwhelming emotions. This dog was too enthusiastic and excited about playing fetch that he was more engaged in the game than his handler's commands. Although this dog usually sits without being lured by a treat, he needed extra guidance at that specific moment from his handler to be able to sit. So again, this dog was not being disobedient, rather he was overwhelmed by the sight of the ball in his handler's hand and his excitement to play. The last factor is poor communication from the handlers to the dogs. In this case, the dog will be so confused and would not understand what he or she is supposed to do. This can happen if the handler is not consistent in his or her requests, gives confusing commands like sit down, or gives misleading hand cues. Notice how the handler's hand, pointing downward, confused this dog, resulting in her not following the command sit. She sat instantly when the handler adjusted her hand position. I will end this video with the following considerations and recommendations. Using the word disobedient will frustrate both you and your dog and will in turn negatively affect the training outcomes and your relationship with your dog. So instead, be your dog's advocate and search for the barriers hindering their responses, and replace the word disobedient with words describing the dog's perspective in that specific moment. And finally, always acknowledge that there's a reason behind your dog not responding, even in times when you can't find it.